A number of drivers will see their existing contracts expire at the end of the year, and several more may switch teams or quit Formula One altogether, so the definitive 2023 grid is still up in the air. One of the most important aspects of the Formula One schedule is the silly season, when racers occupy seats in a game of musical chairs that ultimately leaves some drivers without a drive, while giving others opportunities to progress up and down the grid. Red Bull, Ferrari and Mercedes, the top 3 teams in the Constructors' Championship, all have confirmed driver lineups for the upcoming season, while the remainder of the grid is now a bit of a lottery. And in this video, we're going to discuss seats are still available and who's in the race to win it. So let's dive in and find out who will make the cut and who won't. But first, do you think the grid is too small for all the talented drivers out there? Or are 20 cars on the grid enough? And should drivers swap seats more, or do you like seeing the same faces every year? Let us know in the comments below. So, as things are standing now, and have been for a while, we have 20 grid places. And these places belong to the 10 teams racing in Formula One right now. And while it's the top of the top in motorsport, not every driver is there on pure merit. Some are there for financial reasons because not all teams have enormous budgets. But the budget cap was introduced to aid this problem, although for now it doesn't seem to help that much. So when looking at possible candidates for seats, it's possible that the backing by big sponsors could give the team the last push to put a driver in their car. Therefore, we've seen drivers like Mazepin join the grid. So it's possible that some of the linked drivers may sound surprising. Let's take a look at the grid for 2023, where there are 5 teams left who have a place to fill. Red Bull, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. Even though Perez's form has been a bit of a letdown in the recent races, the Mexican is still lined up for 2023 and 2024 after signing a new contract during the Monaco race weekend earlier this year. Ferrari, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Oh, what could have been. If it wasn't for bad strategy calls and reliability issues, both Ferrari drivers would have fought for the top spots in the championship. But for now, it seems like the team rather than the drivers are the letdown at Ferrari, so no need for changes there. Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. Russell found his groove fast this season, but he will at least get another year under the wing of Lewis Hamilton after he penned a deal for the upcoming season. But more recently, Lewis has stated that he will not quit anytime soon, so it's possible that Mercedes' current driver lineup is here to stay for the long run. Alpine, Esteban Ocon. After a strong debut season driving alongside Fernando Alonso, who was back with Alpine, Esteban Ocon got a multi-year extension last year. He also won his first race. 2-time world winner Alonso stunned the Formula One world by abruptly announcing his intention to join Aston Martin for 2023, with Formula 2 champion Oscar Piastri previously announced by Alpine for 2023. But this wasn't meant to be, as Piastri opted to join another team. So Alpine are the first team on the list to have an open seat, but who are in contention to join the French outfit? When looking at possible replacements, it's good to know if the person in contention is up to speed. And to find out, Alpine will test a couple of drivers in their 2021 car. These drivers are Mick Schumacher, Antonio Giovinazzi, Nick de Vries and Jack Doohan. All these drivers are believed to be on Alpine's shortlist. Next to these 4 drivers, Alpine are also looking at Pierre Gasly as Ocon's next teammate. But for this to happen, Alpha Tauri want a replacement ready to go, because officially, Gasly is signed until the end of 2023. As things are looking now, it's most likely that Pierre Gasly, Mick Schumacher or Nick de Vries will end up in Alpine's second seat. McLaren, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. The very last day of the summer break brought the news that no one was surprised by. Daniel Ricciardo and McLaren will split ways at the end of 2022. Although the decision was taken by the team, even Ricciardo acknowledged it was formally by mutual consent. After a hearing before the Contract Recognition Board, where McLaren was found to be the only team with a valid contract for Oscar Piastri's services, his successor was ultimately revealed. In 2023, he will be a rookie after signing a multi-year contract. Meanwhile, Lando Norris has secured a 4-year contract with McLaren that, given his ascent, apparently places him among the top 3 Formula One earners. Aston Martin, Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso. When Sebastian Vettel revealed he would be quitting Formula 1 when his contract expired at the end of 2022, both Aston Martin drivers, who were out of contract at the end of the year, were the subject of intense speculation. There were many rumours about who would succeed the four-time world champion, but the team moved quickly to get Fernando Alonso from Alpine just a few days later, engaging the start of the F1 2023 drivers' puzzle. Less unexpected information included Lance Stroll's confirmation as the second member of the Aston Martin lineup along with Alonso's. Alfa Romeo. Valtteri Bottas moved to Alfa Romeo on the first multi-year contract of his career after George Russell was contracted to drive beside Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes. This gave the 10-time race winner the stability in Formula 1 that he had been seeking. Before the squad decided on Zhou Guanyu for 2022, there was discussion about who would be his teammate. He has improved after a sluggish start and is in contention to keep his drive, even if his contract is only through 2022. However, he'll probably have competition from drivers like Mick Schumacher and Theo Pourchaire for that position. Even the names of Antonio Giovinazzi and Daniel Ricciardo have come up at Alfa Romeo. Alpha Tauri. Pierre Gasly. Alpha Tauri's driver situation is an intriguing one. Given the strength of his performances and despite the fact that Pierre Gasly had already committed to the Red Bull program through the end of 2023, the organisation was forced to reiterate that it would honour its commitment to him. But Red Bull and Alpha Tauri have now come to an agreement with Alpine that if there is a suitable replacement for Gasly, he can leave the team to join Alpine in 2023. Alongside Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda received a second season's contract, citing his own surprise at being kept on following a challenging first season. For his spot in 2023, he'll have competition from Red Bull Junior Liam Lawson. So AlphaTauri may have to fill two seats. An outsider for a driver AlphaTauri seems to be Nick De Vries, as he met up with Helmut Marko after his astonishing cameo in the Williams car during the Monza GP weekend. Williams. Alex Albon. After scoring all of the team's points before to the summer break in 2022, Alex Albon was given a multi-year deal and is now confirmed for a second season with Williams. Albon has primarily been the star of the show, and Nicholas Latifi's position on the team doesn't seem to be solid at all. Nick De Vries, a Mercedes reserve, has been mentioned as a potential Williams driver for 2023. Next to Nick, there doesn't seem to be many concrete options except for Daniel Ricciardo. So they have to act fast as both these drivers are gaining a lot of attention at the moment. Haas. Kevin Magnussen. After Nikita Mazepin was abruptly fired from Formula 1 before the season began, Kevin Magnussen was brought back, and he has fit back into the sport well. His future in the sport is assured beyond the end of the current season. At the end of 2022, Mick Schumacher, a Ferrari junior driver, will have his contract with Haas expire. He will then have to find out whether he can stay with Haas or move on to another team, because he won't be able to race for his senior squad for at least the next 2 seasons, as Ferrari seem to have found the perfect pairing for the time being. If he leaves, there are plenty of candidates. A Schumacher exit might pave the way for an unexpected Antonio Giovinazzi comeback. He was released by Alfa Romeo last season, but he is still a Scuderia reserve driver. He's already participated in one FP1 session at Monza this season, and he will drive another this year for Ferrari-powered Haas. After team owner Gunther Steiner acknowledged that the German was on the list, Nico Hülkenberg has become a potential driver. Current reserve Pietro Fittipaldi is also being considered. Daniel Ricciardo is another option for the American team. He has declared his desire to stay in Formula 1, but will he be pleased with a move that will certainly push him farther down the grid? Time will tell. Who are you hoping to see on the grid next year? Let us know in the comments below. We hope you've gotten a better look at next year's grid. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more F1 content and leave a like so that more people will see the video. Thanks for watching.